Hello and welcome back to the channel. Remember to like and subscribe as always. Hit the bell to get a notification of our weekly videos. Now today we're going to be feeding the cows and having a little catch up with them. So today is the 20th of July. Jimmy is just filling the bucket up with our food.
Yeah, this is our brand new container which we bought. It's a one-way trip container, so it was delivered into Southampton and then we bought it. And the reason we bought it is to store our cattle feed. I know it's quite dark in there, but we have just bought 4.5 tons of food. It definitely doesn't look like that now because we've been feeding the animals hard food for about 3 weeks now.
So when it was loaded, it was probably around here when I stood. Obviously it's heaped up a lot at the back. Barley, wheat.
Here you go.
Barley, wheat. I think there was a bit of rape in there as well. Molasses. That's all been grinded down. Some's in nut form and some's just like a dusty sort of blend. Then also we've got our haylage here. That's not all of it. There's some just down there because we couldn't fit it all here. We got 309 bales in total. You would have seen us been mowing that in our last video. So we've got 3 bunches of cattle. So we've got 3 bags there, and they are for 22 animals, and we're feeding them between 1.6 to about 1.8 kilos a day. And then we've got 2 bags here, they're for a group of 16, and we're feeding them about 1.2 kilos a day because they're quite a bit bigger. So we're gonna feed them a little bit less, but we'll increase that to hopefully about 2 kilos before they go. And then the same here, but they're for a group of 13. So yeah. Alright, first field, this is the bunch of 16.
Right, so like Ryan said, here we are at the first field, and it's been about 3 weeks since we started feeding them, and they have started to get quite excited at feeding time. Crazy bunch. Right, so here's first group of them having a little bit of grub. These are the troughs which we made. You would have seen back in March time. These are the troughs we made out of blue plastic drums. Cut them in half, put a bit of wood on them to hold them up. They work really well.
So these are 10 Angus, 6 Simmental, a mixture of steers and heifers. That's a heifer steer there. Heifer simmy there. Growing well. Obviously last time you would have seen them was probably about 2 months ago. So they've grown a lot. Take you on a walk around because the backside is the part that everyone loves to see.
Nice.
Put 3 troughs out here so they can, well, they've probably got about 7 around that one, but yeah, they're supposed to be only about 5 around each one, so got plenty of space.
Really nice animals. They're really growing well, and like we said, we've been feeding them hard food for probably about 3 weeks now. And yeah, they're really starting to grow well, and it also keeps them quiet and friendly when we come out and see them every day. To be honest, they're getting really big animals and they get a little bit too excitable when we come and feed them.
It's also really handy when you're feeding them to move them.
Yeah.
You know, just stand by the gate,
Yeah.
And as soon as they see you with something in your hand, they'll come charging over.
Yeah, but as you would have just seen when Ryan walked around them, they're growing really well now. And to be honest, we've got another bunch which we'll go and feed next.
Yeah, pretty much identical.
Pretty much identical, if not a little bit bigger. And some of those are pedigree Anguses. And yeah, they'd make really, really good breeding heifers. Yeah. So yeah, we'll go feed them now.
A lot of store, like you just said there's some really nice pedigree heifers. So potentially, if they grow right and they are the right size when we come to sell them, we will sell them as breeding heifers, because they're some quality animals and they've grown well, so there's no reason not to. And then there's also 3 pedigree Herefords out there which have grown amazingly as well. And although Herefords aren't known for having a good shape, they've got a really nice shape. So yeah, we'll go and see them now.
Here they come. A little bit excited.
Very excited.
Big pedigree animals.
Yeah. And those Herefords are the worst. They're some big pigs. So here we are. They're all very excited, as you can see. Nice shiny coat, which is always good to see.
All of these animals out here are pedigree. Well, the heifers are, not the steers. We got some Anguses and then 3 Herefords. And what we've noticed over the last few years, we've had quite a few Hereford stores on this farm, and they seem to do really well here.
Like I said earlier, out here we've got 8 pedigree Angus, then 3 pedigree Herefords, and then there's 2 steers out here that are from a different farm. They've got a bit of dairy in them, so like you can see here, this one looks a bit narrower compared to that one next to it. They're a really nice animal. They've grown really well, and when we've been doing their like monthly weighs, they've been putting on the same weight gain every month, so there's nothing wrong with them. They're just not as spectacular as the others, but they're still big animals and they're weighing around the same.
So yeah, like we were saying earlier, some of these would make really good breeding heifers, and like we said, the heifers out here are pretty much all pedigree anyway, so you've already got that good bloodline there, pedigree bloodline. So yeah, they would make really good breeding heifers. We'll just see how they grow over the next few months or so, but like we said, we've only been feeding them hard food for the last 3 weeks, and these ones are getting a little bit excitable when you go and feed them, but yeah, they're nice animals.
So we're here at our last field, and as you can see, the British weather has done it again, and it is raining.
My God, it was sunny a moment ago, but now it's pouring.
The cows are slowly plodding over. Got a bale of haylage there, which we put in there this morning.
These ones, there's a few more animals out here, and they're a little bit smaller, unfortunately, so we feed them a little bit more. A few of the animals out here are what me and Ryan went to market, and we actually bidded on them, and that's the first time we've ever done that, just the 2 of us. So that was quite fun. Yeah, so we've got 5 in here which we bought, and they're a mixture of different breeds, some British Blue, a few Anguses, there's a few Shorthorn, there's a few Simmental, and there's quite a few South Devons out here as well. A complete mixed variety out here. Unfortunately, sort of mixture of weights as well. That's one of the South Devons just in front of us here. And then we've got a Charolais there. There's an Angus and another Charolais. So yeah, proper mixed bunch out here. So proper bunch of store animals. I mean, you could breed off of them. Some of the South Devons look good, and they still got a lot of growing to do, like that one there. These are quite, that's a nice animal there. One more bag to give them, and then we'll do a little walk around. So that's a nice animal there, one of the South Devons, and that one. But then unfortunately we've got things like this, which we bought from a farm. They were meant to all be the same weights, and like those two animals there came from the same farm, which is a bit unfortunate, but we bought those ones blind just to sort of fill out the numbers. But yeah, unfortunately you do get that sometimes. But there are some nice animals out here. I mean, very nice South Devons here. They're all heifers, so like they could go into some good breeding animals, but definitely good store animals. And then this British Blue here, that's one of the ones that me and Ryan bought when we went to market. Unfortunately not as good as the ones back at the main farm, but yeah, they're going well. So here we have another South Devon, and then behind it is an Angus. That's another one that me and Ryan bought from market, and that's quite a nice animal. And then here, this is a British Blue, which again we bought blind, so that came in the same bunch as that little one, which is just there. So again, I mean, if you look at that animal compared to the little one which I showed you earlier, it's a little bit annoying because we bought them blind, paid the same price, and they're not quite the same. But these things happen when you buy blind, but learn for next time. But overall, they're a good bunch of animals. We are currently feeding haylage out here, and this is the haylage which you would have seen us mowing in the last video. It's made into some really good stuff. It might be a little bit too early to be feeding haylage because well, it's only had about a month to make, so it's not ideal, but there's not much grass out here, as you can see. There's not much grass, and unfortunately at this block of ground that we've got away from the main farmyard, we cut all the other fields for haylage. We cut it all, and then we've been feeding the animals hard food, and we've been feeding them a few of the haylage bales. They're sort of getting through about one every 2 days, so they are really loving it, which is good. But it's made into some really good stuff. We had good conditions when we were mowing, like you would have seen, and it's made into some really good stuff. So like we said, or I said before, haylage is a mixture between silage and hay.
Okay, so we are now back at the yard. Jimmy is just filling up the bags for tomorrow's feeding, and so I thought I'd come and talk to you about the final field that we mowed this year, and it is looking a lot different. As you can see, it's not very thick in the bottom, but then part of that will also be because we had sheep out here, because we were planning on reseeding it, but that never happened. So now we're gonna disc it and do that this autumn. There's a lot of young shoots that are coming through, covered the field. So the cows will be out here, well no, cows are going to go out there next week, and they could be out there for potentially a month. They never really chew it down quickly because it's quite an old grass, and they're coming here because it's nice fresh young grass, which is full of sugar, which they'll enjoy, and hopefully they'll do well on.
Right, so Ryan's just filling up the last 2 bags. This has been a great container. We used to have an old sort of lorry, the trailer bit of the lorry we took off the chassis, so you just had like the box bit that goes in the back of a lorry, if you get what I mean. And we used to use that for feeding or storing our animal food. That sort of got a bit rotten, and then we didn't have animals during the winter, so we didn't need any hard feed really, but now we've started feeding our store animals hard food in the field again, and this container has been a very nice addition. And yeah, it's very smart. And we had it insulated. I don't know if you can see up the top, it's all a little bit bobbly. So like no moisture or anything can get in, and it stays insulated in here. And then we've got names of all our fields, or like initials of all the fields on the wall. So then all we do is fill the bags up. We're just filling up for tomorrow to make it easier for when we come to feed tomorrow. So then we know which bags are to go to which field. So you just line them up in front of the name on the wall. Ryan's doing the last one. Some good stuff. Mixture, there's like some nuts in here like that, some nuts, and then there's a bit of barley, a mixture of things, which is really good for the animals. And yeah, we got a little bit left, but we're probably going to need to buy the same amount again. And like we said at the start of the video, when we first bought it, it was sort of out to here. So we're probably about halfway through this load.
Okay, so today we have also been, well, we haven't finished it yet. You can see there's a rubber mat here, and they go all the way down to about there. That's how far we've done. The rest of the way we've done. And what we've done is we have put the mats up like this, and drilled them to the side, so that when water comes down, it goes onto this. And then at the end there's a pipe, and it should all go in there, because the two buildings left and right we rent out, and apparently there's been a little bit of water getting underneath the blocks when it's been heavy rain. So we thought we'd put that in there. We managed to acquire it for free because where we got it from, they were just gonna dispose of it somehow. So we thought we would take it, and as they say, what is another man's rubbish is another man's treasure. So in the last video you would have seen this man here. Yeah, you would have seen him talk about the new trailer that we bought, and well, look at the size difference between them.
So this is our old one,
Yeah.
which Grandad bought from the Newbury show in the 70s, and he bought it for £700, and it has done very well, but it's getting a little bit dangerous, a little bit rickety. But we're going to keep it as an emergency or backup, or if we want to have one bale trailer on the tractor, we can put this old one on the forklift, so we can get a few more bales done. But I mean, it's not a bad thing. But if you look, so they're both at the same
Depth at the
they're
back.
both the same depth at the back. This is the, I mean, this hitch is here.
Yeah.
Look at where that hitches.
Yeah, it's a couple of feet more, I think.
A massive, and the width as well. It's almost twice as
Yeah.
wide. Just makes it so
Yeah,
much safer
because-
carrying the new bales, because they're so much bigger than they were like in the 70s.
Yeah, so the bales before were, well, it was around
the bales
there,
were
wasn't
here.
it? Yeah.
They were coming out, and you
Not, yeah,
sort of, like
sort of
here.
on that
they
edge.
were overhanging over the edge.
Yeah.
Where now on this trailer, they're literally there. They're not
yeah.
even at all near the
No.
edge, so it's perfect. Got all our haylage bales in, like Ryan said, we got 330 odd haylage bales, and we also did a load of hay for our neighbouring farmer. So it's had a lot of work this year, and yeah, it's really smart. Really
Although
nice.
with the extra length, it does make it very difficult to get in here. As you can see, it is pretty much a couple of feet there.
Yeah, and if you go to the back,
Yeah,
it's like right
it's-
next to the.
They're literally pretty much parked on top of each other. As you can see, the rolling trailer is there. That could have come back a little bit more, potentially. But then we've got the tedder behind it, which when we next get the rolling trailer out, we'll move back just to give us a bit more space.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have seen this before on the channel actually.
Yeah,
but
the
this
cables are actually
Yeah, that's so
touching.
close. This is our Krone tedder. I've never actually seen it be used.
No.
But it's a very smart machine, but it can come back a little bit more to allow us for.
Yeah, we've got a bit more space here, so
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, next time we move the rolling trailer, we'll bring everything back a bit further and it'll give us that extra space. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's video.
Yeah, I hope you liked seeing our feeding system, which we're currently doing, and our store animals.
Yeah,
let us know what you think about them.
Yeah.
Let us know what weights you think they are, and next time we weigh them, we'll let you know.
Yeah, they have kind of exploded
In a good way, they got
yeah.
massive.
Yeah. So yeah, hopefully we can make some good money off of those. But yeah, until next time, goodbye.